We're finding out who's got the soul. We're finding out who doesn't have the soul. Well, I know I got soul, and I know you got soul. Don't care what color you are, where you came from. You love liberty. You see through evil. You love God. You're a soul man. You're a soul woman. That's what it's all about. So, choose what side you're on. Great little intro from Friday Night Tide. It's a very popular show, millions of viewers. Appreciate him having me on last Friday. They sure got the tag for it. You know, Ben Stein went on YouTube. He's had his YouTube channel shut down. Well-known comedian, movie star, funny guy. Bueller. Well, he's been kicked off for criticizing the vaccine that almost killed him. You and Eric Clapton need to shut your mouths. We've got that censored video coming up bottom of the hour. We got Alfie Oakes that owns that big grocery store chain. Supplies like a third of the food to Florida. Coming on about the vaccine mandate, so they're going to come arrest him if he doesn't make all his crew take poison shots that are experimental, never cruelly authorized. And you got Dr. Fauci calls for unvaccinated Americans to be banned from air travel and to mandate COVID-19 shots for even 2-year-olds, even though it's not approved. And their own scientists quit the FDA 2 weeks ago saying they shouldn't target children. Well, this little monster, what he says goes. We got a special report we're about to air, Stop Fauci or Die. I suggest you share it, get it out. They're also gaslighting. Psaki and the Commerce Secretary say, nobody's making you take a shot. You just can't leave your house. But don't worry, the illegal aliens don't have to. Psaki admits, we have the video, that the Biden vax mandate doesn't include migrants at the border or the Islamists being brought in. Oh, but don't worry, Walmart is announcing proof of vaccinations required. Well, bye-bye Walmart. You say, oh, just order online. Oh, now the companies are saying, you want to do Zoom, you want to order online, you got to have it too. Boris Johnson's getting ready to announce new lockdowns. Told you last week when he announced an end to the COVID garbage, he would then announce total control. Psych warfare, we are their enemy. They attack us with the same system. CNN's former head of Planned Parenthood says the unvaccinated should not be allowed to leave their homes. All this video coming up. So see, now it's all out in the open. But first, a very powerful report that's at band.video and freeworldnews.tv. Stop Fauci or die.
I would support that. If you want to get on a plane and travel with other people, that you should be vaccinated. When you hear us say, should you mandate vaccination for children to be able to attend school, some people say, oh my goodness, that would be terrible to do that. But we already do that and have been doing that for decades and decades.
But some people take the mandate as not a moment of unity, but as sort of a divisive weapon. What do you say to that?
So we have a tradition in our country, Chuck, of taking steps, as a collective to protect the broader community. And that's what these requirements represent.
I am a Division I student athlete with no prior health issues, and I got the second COVID shot Tuesday, and within 4 days I have been diagnosed with myocarditis and was told that I probably won't be able to play my senior season now.
I usually respect everybody and their choices. I don't want one single mother ever coming to my page and telling me I need to get the vaccine. My little sister just died from her first dose.
Time and will are in short supply, and once they run out, chaos will reign supreme. The documents obtained by The Intercept that reveal that Dr. Fauci lied under oath about the funding of gain-of-function research pertaining to the Wuhan lab in China reveal that according to a previously unpublished grant proposal from Peter Daszak's EcoHealth Alliance, where $3.1 million taxpayer dollars were awarded from Fauci and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease for a project titled Understanding the Risk of Bat Coronavirus Emergence. $599,000 of that grant was given to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for bat coronavirus research.
But, Dr. Fauci's been asked about this. Senator Kennedy asked him in committee, do you trust the scientists? And he said, that's where the viruses are. We have to, and we have to keep investing there. But what if it leaked? And what if they didn't help us with a leak? And what if it originated, they knew it all along and failed to tell us? Would Dr. Fauci not reassess his trust of the Chinese communists and their lab? The Intercept documents also showed that this came out of a Biosafety 3 lab, which is a lab that nobody believes is secure enough to be dealing with these deadly pathogens. And yes, they were taking viruses that were not as transmissible to humans. They were adding S proteins, which is how the virus attaches to the cell, from bat viruses out of a cave. And lo and behold, they created viruses that are not found in nature that were more transmissible than what they started. The very definition of gain of function.
Aside from the fact that the research could prove to be directly responsible for the disputable death toll of nearly 5 million globally from the SARS coronavirus, that is only the beginning of what Dr. Fauci has hidden up his sleeve.
Now, a ferret is not a human, and as Mike just pointed out, there's still serious debates about how fatal this virus is in humans.
And we've seen it on television. I've seen schematic diagrams of it on television, of a ferret in one cage sneezing on a ferret in the other cage. That ferret sneezes and they all die. This is what Ron has just said. I didn't say it. Ron just presented that. That is not what happens. When a ferret sneezes on another ferret, the ferret gets infected, gets flu-like syndrome, doesn't get sick, recovers, and does not die. And I think when you talk about forgetting about any of the process, just the perception that's out there. Am I correct, Ron?
Now, if anything, our data suggests that this virus spreads poorly. It is aerosol transmitted and therefore scientifically very, very interesting to study. But whether this virus would, if it would ever escape from a lab, would start spreading, we don't know.
So the whole point is not that they were calling it doomsday secretly, and it did come out on the news at the time. I have the articles here. I'll show them to you. It's that there was a major debate internally of how dangerous this was and how it violated law and how it was true gain of function. See, they made it. They made it spread worse. They made it more dangerous. That's gain of function.
As Steve Watson reported, former FDA head and current Pfizer board member Scott Gottlieb reacted to further revelations regarding the funding of dangerous gain-of-function research by Anthony Fauci.
The bottom line is they were doing research on viruses in that institute that was making those viruses potentially more dangerous to humans. Exactly. And handling the viruses in ways that could have potentiated their release, particularly by infecting transgenic animals that had fully humanized immune systems, which we now know and were revealed by that, sort of affirmed by those documents. We knew this before. So they were doing things in that lab that could have led to circumstances where a virus that was purposely evolved in ways that it could be more dangerous than humans could have escaped. And I think the bottom line is we have a long record of that lab having poor practices. In fact, when that lab was first opened, there was an editorial in the journal Science raising questions about the integrity of that lab. There were questions about whether the lab was built appropriately and just the procedures that they had in place. So the conditions existed where an accident could have happened. I think what's revealed by these documents in the Intercept are two interesting details that I previously didn't know. First, there was experimentation being done on MERS-like coronaviruses, not just SARS-like coronaviruses. And second, they affirmed what we sort of suspected, which is that coronavirus research was going on in other institutes around Wuhan.
Fauci has to be stopped. Millions more will clearly die, only to be replaced by the protected class of undocumented Democrat voting refugees pouring into the United States by design. A plan so diabolical that it has all been engineered behind closed doors for decades. John,
if you're concerned about the power grid and want to generate your own supply of off-grid electricity, this will be the most important message you'll hear this year. Here's why. We now have a small number of solar generators back in stock. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving backup power when you need it most. And unlike gas generators, solar generators run quietly, emit no dangerous fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. Whether it's wildfires, dangerous weather, power grid issues, or just getting off the grid, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. Even better, all this week, radio listeners get over $700 in free off-the-grid bonuses, too. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more and check availability. That's mysolarbackup.com. Look for the free report, Crisis Cooling, how to make absolutely sure your meat, milk, and medicines stay safe and cool in any power outage. Yours free at mysolarbackup.com. Hey, everybody. If you've ever thought about heirloom beans as a storable survival food, I've got great news. In fact, I'll bet it's the best news you've heard in a while. Here's the thing. We've just received a fresh batch of gourmet heirloom beans, survival soup beans. These beans are gorgeous, highly nutritious, and above all, with no hesitation whatsoever, the best tasting beans in the entire world. The best part? We've dropped the price by 33% this week for listeners who know higher food prices are coming and want an inflation hedge you can actually eat if you want to. Gets even better. With your permission and with a high regard for your health and well-being, I also want to send you 2 pounds of what we think is the single most underrated superfood in the world, period. Go to soupbeansurvival.com, that's soupbeansurvival.com, and discover the real reason we're giving this unusual superfood away at soupbeansurvival.com, that's soupbeansurvival.com.
This headline is not a joke. This is America in September of 2020. D.C. court sends man to jail for watching conspiracy theory videos online. Yes, it says the police did a spot check for, quote, compliance at his home and found him in his garage watching Rumble social media site, which they say is a conspiracy site. Also, he admitted to watching Mike Lindell's 3-day cyber symposium. Yes, it was part of the conditions of his bail. The judge said he could not look at any videos questioning the election. No joke. And so they sent the Stasi to his house and caught him doing it, so now he's going into solitary confinement. Communism has come to America. The Republic has fallen.
Yeah, you're right.
The puppet leaders of nations across the planet are declaring their allegiance to the New World Order, and Democrat politicians have been announcing it here as well. That means allegiance to a tyrannical world corporate government established by the Rockefellers through the UN. And they want inside your bodies to put in you what they want, when they want, and to have the global digital tracking COVID passes or vaccine passes to form the backbone of their new world ID. And now their puppet Biden has announced the forced inoculation of 100 million Americans to keep their jobs in total violation of the Nuremberg Code. This is criminal. And he's lying, saying it's an approved vaccine when they did not approve it. They said that's a 2025 maybe. They just expanded the emergency authorization. That's why the 2 top scientists quit a week and a half ago. Well, you live to see it. Absolute New World Order world government. If you submit, they will totally enslave you.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Crashing through the lies and disinformation, it's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the info war.
Waging war on corruption, my friends, please. This critical time, people's minds are so open as the tyranny is exploding. Share the live feed. Tell folks about that local radio station or TV station. Send archives of the shows and articles and videos, whatever you think is most important, out to everyone you know and to perfect strangers. And continue to know the show is free to air.